Hi guys, in today's video we're going to be talking about imagery. Now imagery is probably one of the most popular techniques used within sports psychology, and I want to show you a little bit about what imagery is and how you can use it to benefit your performance and spark your potential. Okay, so how is imagery defined? Well, it's the process whereby an individual imagines themselves in an environment performing a specific skill. So we can take that definition and apply it to different contexts. In sport, imagine yourself performing a penalty kick. In education, preparing for an upcoming exam. Or in business, an upcoming meeting. Imagery is a really effective technique because it can be used to motivate you, so imagining past performances when you did really well. It can help you prepare for upcoming events as well. It can also refocus your skills and can be used as a training session. The key with any good imagery session is to be specific. But first of all, find a quiet place without any distractions. Then you can be more effective. Also, coming back to that word specific, every little detail, no matter how insignificant you may think it be, use it. So I'm going to give you the example maybe of a footballer. What was the environment like? What was the weather like? What was the grass? Who was you playing against? What was the colour of their strip? All of these are little insignificant things, but you put them all together and they create an environment, and they create the environment that you performed in. Why? Well, the brain can't recognise the difference between virtual and reality. So when you're engaging in an imagery session, your muscles and your heart are going through the exact same process as if they were actually there. So the more specific you can be with these little details, the more beneficial it's going to be. Effective imagery isn't just positive. And this is where I want to draw your attention to something I read a few years back about the most successful Olympian of all time, Michael Phelps. It was during the final he realised there was a problem. As soon as he dove in, it quickly became apparent. His goggles were leaking. He couldn't see. It became worse and worse. He couldn't see in front of him. He couldn't see underneath him. He couldn't tell where he was in the race. But he didn't panic. Why? Because he'd already been through this process. He'd already been in this situation. Not actually in the pool, in his mind. He'd visualised a negative outcome, or this situation actually occurring. And that allowed him to create action plans. And what was his action plan? Well, he knew how many strokes he needed to get to each end of the pool. So he just counted. He trusted his technique and he counted. He actually won the race. So this example brilliantly outlines the effectiveness of negative imagery. Can you imagine if Michael Phelps hadn't prepared for that eventuality? How his response would have been different. He wouldn't have known what to do. He understood that stuff happens in sport that we can't control, but you can plan for it and start to make action plans, which is exactly the same for us. Although it might seem negative to think about negative outcomes, in the lead, it can actually help us. Because in sport, in business and in life, you don't get time to think about how you're going to respond. You have to respond quickly, instinctively, based on the decisions and the past experiences that you've had. And this is exactly where negative imagery can come into play. You can use that to help benefit your performance. Thanks for tuning in today. Hopefully you've learned a little bit about imagery, what it is, how you can use it to benefit your performance and spark your potential. I suppose the takeaway messages here are: be specific when engaging in an imagery session. Also, be open to using both positive and negative, because they can both benefit you in the long run. If you want to get in touch, we'd love to hear from you. Use the contact details provided. Thank you.